So Netflix reported today, were you able to catch a bottom, or bottom call in real time, or game plan in Forex? Did you overtrade today? Part 2 of our series and how to solve that problem, our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A little more action coming into this market. And I'm really sick and tired of the BS, and I do want to help you, and we do a lot in this room to really help traders like you get to that next level, whether it's turning from red to consistently green, or maybe you're stuck in a rut where you're only making 100 to 200,000 and you want to become a millionaire. This is the perfect place for you. And we're going to talk about this with the Netflix bottom call in real time. And of course, you guys have seen the Newsbeat show so many times before. You've seen us do it all the time where we're like, oh, here's a bottom call, here's a bottom call, here's a bottom call. This Mark Melnick dude must be calling out 1,500 trades, and he just sits there and he just nitpicks the ones that he called a bottom in, and then he posts it on the Newsbeat show to act like he knows what he's talking about. And no, because if you were part of the room, you would know that generally speaking, 70% of the trades I give out work. Even more. In the past, since the beginning of this year, it was a little over 80%, but generally speaking, I try to be right 7 out of 10 times. So then I show you a little pretty picture that looks like this, and I say, were you able to buy here and catch a $10 pop? Could have you bought at the bottom, that bottom of that candle, not in the middle of that candlestick, not at the top of that candlestick, none of this Captain Hindsight stuff. None of this me showing you a chart and telling you what you could have done using my methodology if you decided to trade it. None of that. That's BS. The problem is, if all the broadcasters out there in the world and all the mentors and all the teachers and all the trainers and everybody, the thousands of them out there were good at what they did, wouldn't they be able to make money using their own methodology? Wouldn't they have the confidence enough if they were consistent to say, I'm buying here right now, and not make it sound muffled, unclear, or maybe they just don't even call it out in the first place because they can't. So what I did was I changed the way I broadcast. I literally, as I told you guys for years, I'm going to improve the way I broadcast. And I gave you guys a taste of it today, and I think you really appreciated it because I make it crystal clear. Now, I show you a chart where it's like, buy here, $10 pop. Mark, did you catch $10 in Netflix today? Hell no! Was there somebody in the room who did? Hell yeah! But what did you do? So what did you do that was so amazing, Mark? How did it sound like to be in your room and catch Netflix today? Well, that's a good question. And I'm going to show you that right now. This is what it was like to be inside the Newsbeat live room and catch Netflix today. I'm going to show you. This is how it sounded like. And sorry, Art, I'm sort of putting a spotlight on your face just to show you. So Netflix opened right over here at this red bar. It fell and then it popped. And it was a big mover. I mean, look, if you look on the side here, these numbers are $2 apart, right? It fell, it popped, and I'm like basically saying in the morning, you know, that I'm going to watch Netflix for a long entry, be patient. So what happened? Well, right here at 10:26, we started falling from 3:30 to 3:29. And at 10:26 a.m., this is what it actually sounds like on the broadcast. Guys, if Netflix breaks 327.75, I'm going to throw in a market order on the $330 calls expiring this week. 10:27 a.m. Guys, I'll answer questions soon because people in the room were asking me questions. Focus in now on Netflix. 10:29 a.m. Guys, when I say now, I'm going to buy the $330 Netflix calls with a market order. 10:31 a.m. Now, I just entered. That's what it sounds like to be part of a trade like this in the Newsbeat live room. And keep in mind, that was the only trade that I called in Netflix today. The only trade. It wasn't like I called 20 bottoms. I tried a bunch of different levels. Some worked, some didn't. And then I'm just highlighting to you what worked. So what I'm telling you is cut the BS. Join a place where people actually help you, where you actually get assistance. We were never down money for a second after we entered. You opened up that position with me. Some of you got better prices than me. All right? It's real time. The truth is, after I bought it, the stock went down 5 cents, but the options never went against you. I mean, we're talking 5 cents in Netflix. It never was against you. The second after you entered, you were up money. It's this approach that I take to broadcasting, which addresses the number one issue in trading. And the number one issue in trading is traders want consistency. Yes, we are going to have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 trades because we're going to get some news flow and it's going to be so damn early and we're going to load the boat and you're going to hear me say, guys, I'm buying 1,000 calls of this stock right here, and it's going to hesitate for 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds and then it's going to explode through the ceiling. Why? How do I know that's going to happen? Because it always happens. It's just a matter of when, not if. And I know traders like that, but that's not what traders want. I mean, everyone wants that, but that's not what traders need in general. You ask the majority of traders out there, I'm speaking to you, what you need is to be a part of a community that is literally helping you buy through day lows. And I'm going to prove it to you. And I'm going to prove to you why the other methodologies out there, why you might be failing with them. So we're going to take, Broadcaster X from some other firm, Broadcaster X, and you have Trader A. I'm going to prove it to you right now. And I'm going to show you mathematically what is the problem and why you're probably failing. So here we have 3 traders. So Broadcaster X, and we're assuming that they even do this, what he does is he says, he says stock XYZ can get to $51. This is what Broadcaster X is saying. Broadcaster X also notes that stock XYZ is at $50 currently. And this is what happens. Here's the problem. Trader A buys XYZ at 50. Trader B buys XYZ at 50, and Trader C also buys XYZ at $50 because they think that XYZ is going to get to 51. Now this is what XYZ actually does afterwards. Meanwhile, with XYZ, as the story progresses, XYZ first goes to $49, bounces back to $50. Let's use the word drops to $49. Bounces to $50, and this is very important. And this is why you're losing money and you're not consistent while following some of these other broadcasters, trading rooms, whatever. And I figured it out today. And you know how I figured it out today? Because I literally got an email from the people at T3 who care about you, want you to make money, and they literally asked everyone, what is the biggest problem with traders? What is the biggest problem that the trader is suffering when, they're in your room? What kind of things are you hearing? What is the biggest problem? So, first of all, 250,000% respect to T3 for actually being one of those people who give a crap about how you're doing. Because I'll tell you, I've worked for several other broadcasting firms. I've run my own broadcast, and never, ever did this question ever come up. So this is why it really hit home with me today. And if you want to know why I'm talking about it, it's because of that. Wow. Finally a place that gets it. And then what happens with XYZ? It pops to $51. Now, here were the results. So this is what happened with XYZ. So first thing, broadcaster X said stock XYZ can get to $51, and it's currently at $50. Each one of the three traders bought at $50. Now, let's see what happened to this trader. Trader A got stopped out at $49.50 because Trader A is one of those people who likes to take tight risk rewards. Tight risk rewards. He was risking one to make two. He bought at 50, stopped at 49.50, and hopefully it gets to 51 before it gets to 49.50. It didn't in this case. Trader A takes a 50-cent loss. Trader B, what happened with Trader B is Trader B looks for a one-to-one risk reward. So Trader B got stopped out literally, unfortunately, at the low of the move. Doesn't that suck? How many of you traders just sell and then it immediately goes up? Because Trader B was looking for a one-to-one risk reward. And then what happened with Trader C is Trader C held through the dollar pain and made $1 and sold profitably. So what happened was Trader A lost money, Trader B lost money, and Trader C was able to hold through the dollar pain. But you want to know what happened? All the traders here suffered psychological toxicity, which is going to hurt their trading in the future. That was not mentioned through this trade. Because what happens is Trader A and B are going to die the death of 1,000 paper cuts. They're not going to usually do anything stupid. They're not going to hold it. But you know what happens once in a blue moon, once in a while, once every 20, 10, 30, 40 trades for Trader C? You know what happens with Trader C? Sometimes the stock goes actually down to $48 and Trader C doubles in. And then the stock goes to $47 and $46 and they add in and they get emotional and they blow up their account. See, Trader C is generally making money in the market. Trader C doesn't have trouble making money on the majority of his or her trading days. But what happens with Trader C once in a while is they'll blow their account up. And that's the trader who made $1,000 last week, $1,000 the week before, $1,000, $1,000, made $4,000, $1,000 every single week for the past 4 weeks. But what happened with Trader C next week is they lost $9,000. How many of you can relate with that story? If you can relate with that story, you're a trader like Trader C. How many of you can relate to being Trader A or B? How many of you guys can relate with being Trader A or B? You're all suffering psychological toxicity, and that is why 95% of the traders fail, because you're either Trader A, B, or C. And how the heck do I know this? Because I've been a broadcaster over half of my career. I've been a broadcaster starting here with T3, and I have seen it for the past 11 years. And believe me, I sucked as a broadcaster for the majority of those years. That's me being honest. I sucked at my job. I was good, getting better than a lot of the people out there, but I wasn't where I needed to be. So how do you avoid psychological toxicity? It seems impossible. You want to know the only answer to avoid psychological toxicity with stock XYZ? It's obvious, isn't it? It's obvious. How to avoid toxicity? How do you avoid it? How do you avoid toxicity, psychological toxicity, which is going to negatively impact your trading in the coming days? How do you avoid psychological toxicity? Buy XYZ at $49. That's the answer. Oh, it's so easy, Mark. Just buy at the lows and never be down money. That's so simple, right? Oh my God, that's so simple. Wow, why didn't I think of it before? But how the F do I do that, Mark? How the freak do I do it? Obviously, I wouldn't curse here. How do you just buy XYZ at 49? You know why? Because if you buy XYZ at 49, let me show you how trader A, B, and C look like in my room. We all have the same $51 target, but what happened? Well, trader A, who before got stopped out at 49.50, trader A actually sold at 49.50. Trader B sold at $50. And trader C actually made the most money and sold at $51, which was the original price target. That's what happens. Yes, I know it's a made-up stock with XYZ, but psychologically, when you have met the tens of thousands of traders that I have, when you have done all the seminars in front of tens and tens and tens of thousands of traders, and you saw thousands and thousands of traders who share how they're doing, what they're doing with their P&L, you finally understand what needs to be done. Trading has evolved. Black boxes came in when they weren't there. You speak to all the floor traders, making money was a joke as a floor trader. Why? Because they really were the market makers. They controlled the market. They knew where to buy. They knew where there would be buyers. They knew where there'd be sellers. If you know there are going to be buyers at XYZ at $50 and sellers of XYZ at $51, when you weren't dealing with decimalization, you were dealing with fractions and all these other things, teenies, which represented 1/16 of a stock, you would literally buy at 50 because you saw there were buyers there and sell at 51. That is how I became a millionaire at the age of 19, by simply exploiting stupidness in the market, where I would jump in front of the market makers. You know, I would take a stock. There used to be a stock called Vertical Net, VERT, Victor Edward Roger Tango. No longer exists. And me, Mark Melnick, with 500 shares, used to do on average 25 to 30% of the 1 million shares traded daily. And I would just do that every day. And I said, I'm doing a quarter to 30% of the volume. I'm controlling the stock. So what I would do is I would look at Vertical Net, and no matter what price I was trading at the time, I used to trade in the $100 range and the $200 range, there would be a big spread in the bid. And that's why I fell in love with the stock. And I was able to literally come in every single morning, type in VERT on my screen. Do you think I used a chart? No. Do you think I cared about the news or knew what it was? No. Do you think I cared if the Dow was up or down, which it was generally up back in the 99, 2000 bubble? Do you think I really cared what the market was doing that day? No, because what I did was I looked at the bid, and I looked at the offer, and I looked at the print box. And there were people, for example, when Vertical Net was $250 and the bid was $250 and the offer was $252, people were selling at $250, and people were buying at $252. And I literally saw prints going off. And I said, damn, that's $2. There were times where I would throw in a bid at $250, get filled, throw in an offer at $252, get filled, throw in a bid at $250, get filled, throw in an offer at $252, get filled, 500 shares at a time. And I was averaging $25, $30, $35, $40,000 a day with 500 share maximum size positions, getting filled on the bid, getting filled on the offer, rinse, repeat, trading 200, 300, 400,000 shares a day, not giving two you-know-whats about my commission rate, which was $16 for every 1,000 shares traded. And even if I traded 300,000 shares and had a $16 per 1,000 share commission rate, and I was paying $4,800 to $5,000 in commissions a day, it didn't mean anything because I was making 25, 30, 35 or more in gross with 500 share positions. Wasn't that a lovely time? You didn't need to know anything about the market. And that's why it was easy. And the biggest dip, you know what, in the world, a dip doo-doo could have made money, and I was one of those dip doo-doos who made money. See, I take my past in which I was successful, and I don't boast like I know what I'm talking about. I take that past and I actually boast that nobody knew what they were talking about, and any moron could have made money back then. The market changed. The market changed. It's not like that anymore. It got in way more difficult. Decimalization came in. That is the problem. In other rooms, they're telling you the $51 target and they're buying at 50, and all three traders, even the one who made money, is suffering from psychological toxicity, and even trader C will blow up his account. Trader in A and B will rarely blow up their account with one big bad day. They'll slowly lose and they'll slowly hemorrhage and they'll slowly bleed out. So how do you avoid psychological toxicity? You have to buy XYZ at the lows before it goes against you. And I don't care what the low of the day was. The low of the day in XYZ might have been at 45. And maybe the stock rallied all the way up to 50 bucks. And then somebody put a $51 target on it. And then you bought 50 and then you got screwed. So how do you stop that? Is there a way to really consistently buy XYZ at $49? Is there really a way to buy XYZ consistently at that price? And the answer is yes, there is. Was it easy for me to figure out? No. This is a lifetime worth of work, evolving with the market, understanding the new market, understanding what works today is different than what worked 5 years ago. What works today could be different than what worked 1 year ago. So your education in the market needs to continue. You need to continually educate yourself. Just like the person who was a blacksmith making horseshoes and swords had to learn how to make car doors and engines and hammer things like that together. And of course they needed to be trained again. So when I'm coming to you all these days as a broadcaster, and I'm saying, you could buy at the lows, and I'm showing you a trade like Netflix. Let's see, what did I buy today? Let's go over all my trades today, because I'm not yes, I am highlighting this trade, but it has nothing to do with this trade. And yes, after we bought Netflix at 10:31, and that's how it sounds on the broadcast. That's why you need to be part of a community that is consistent and profitable. You want to know what consistency looks like? It looks like somebody who is literally buying at the lows the entire time. And when we actually bought, there was a $10 pop. Did I catch $10? No, my best trade was like $5 in Netflix. But I suffered no psychological toxicity, and that was the key to success. So why don't we go over all my trades today? Why don't we just go over all of them? Let me show you the good, bad, and the ugly. All right? We are watching AMC in the pre-market. This was AMC here today. Here it opened up here. I'm going to literally show you what we did. Good, bad, and ugly. I'm showing you it all. Literally. I mean, you really want to see everything, because any salesman who can sell, farts to an a-hole can come to you and tell you that, yeah, this is like the best thing in the world, and this is the greatest thing, and this is what you should do. Excuse my language. I'm a little bit passionate here. So we're watching AMC in the morning. We were watching AMC because it had bullish news. Okay, here's the proof. This is our Newsbeat Live morning ideas that we give at 9 o'clock a.m. every single day, and we go over every name. You see name number 5? That's AMC. It was upgraded today. It had positive news. And we went over the entire upgrade and everything, and that's why we were trading AMC. So where did we buy AMC today? Where did the Newsbeat Live room get in? Right there at the day lows. Wow, what a coincidence. And I bought options at the day lows. Nobody got a better price than me on those options, and then the stock popped, and I literally sold my options here on that candle. Buy at the yellow, sell at the green. That's what I did. That was my first trade. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. And then, let's see what else I did. Just logging in my account, because you guys really just need to see this. It's so important that you guys understand the importance of being part of a community that can literally just put money in your plate if you have the right software, if you're following the right trades, if you don't go off on a stupid tangent and just do whatever you're doing that has been costing you money. If you're a profitable trader, this is great because now you're just adding into more smart ideas that make money. But if you're a losing trader and you keep doing your losing trades, there's an email we got today. So by the way, this was AMC, one of our trades this morning. I'm going to show you the other trades right here momentarily. Let's see. So that's AMC. I showed you the Netflix trade. Let's look at we had a CVS straddle in which we took calls and strangle, excuse me, in which we took calls and puts from the other day. I got rid of my put side here. The stock popped over 66 and I sold my calls for a minor profit. That was a trade in which we did in real time, and I exited my CVS position. What else did I do? All right, let's talk about my Johnson & Johnson. This was a loser trade. Perfect. And the funny thing is, the majority of the room out-traded me on this one and actually made money. So here's a losing trade I did. Perfect. This was my one losing trade of the day, and it was phenomenally minor to what I made. But it's important to see. So look. So what happened on Johnson & Johnson here? What happened here? I bought right here at that end of the bar, and I got stopped out right there. Bought there, got stopped out there. A lot of people in the room held, and guess what? Great job, because my level actually ended up being not so horrible. Wasn't the dead low, but it ended up working, and a lot of people actually made money on that in the room. So congratulations. And let's talk about another trade that I did today. Oh, this is a nice one. This is a nice one. Eat. You are what you eat. Let me show you what we did in Eat today. I bought 100 calls in real time in the room. This one was a little quicker because this is why you need speed on your software, and it's one of the things we're actually going to be showing and sharing with you in the course. I'm literally sharing my layout with you guys so you guys can catch things like this. And we literally called E right over 39.20, right over there on that candle it's pointing you to, right over there. That's where I bought 100 calls of EAT. 100 calls. You know what happened to those options? What happened? What do you think happened to those options? They doubled. They doubled. I'm selling here, I'm selling there, I'm selling there. They doubled in value. That was the other trade I did. So when all said is done, you know what I lost in Johnson & Johnson today? $224.35. $224.35. You know what I made in this? $3,800. You know what I made in Netflix? More money than what I lost in that. You know what I made in AMC? About the same money I lost in Johnson & Johnson. And oh, there was another trade. We also called the bottom of Red Hat today. Here's Red Hat. Again, I'm going to just show you the Microsoft Paint, just so I could literally show you. And this is so important, and I'm going to really show you why you're not consistent. And a lot of traders here are consistent, so please understand I'm just talking to more of the masses. We bought Red Hat right there in real time. You know where I sold Red Hat? Right over here. Let's use the green arrow. I sold it right over here, dipped a little, and then even went higher. Why did I trade Red Hat? Why did I take this silly little option trade here? Because it was on our radar today. Because it was on our radar today. That's why I did it. And this is our pre-market radar. There's stocks that have news intraday, which are not on our pre-market radar. So if you want to know how to become consistent, going back to my example, never ever forget this. This is why you're losing money following other rooms. If you're really following the broadcaster and you're not just doing your own thing. Stock XYZ can get to 51. The stock XYZ is currently at 50. 3 traders in the room all buy at 50. All suffer psychological toxicity. Even traders C who made money in the end. while traders in our room, we're buying XYZ at 49. And trader A is like, oh my God, I should have held longer. And trader B is content, and trader C thinks they traded it amazingly. And none of these traders suffered psychological toxicity. None of these traders had to watch their P&L go red, wondering how long it's going to turn red for. You want to know why a lot of traders are just dump positions real early? Because they don't like going red. And you know what? People say that's a weakness. They say, oh, you're throwing away, you're not letting your winners ride, you're not giving it a chance. You ever hear that? That's bullshit. Excuse my French. That's a lie. It's not that you're not giving it a chance, it's that your entry sucked. And now you don't know what to do after the fact that you realized your entry sucked. So cut the BS. That was the name of our thing today. And allow us to literally help you. Allow us to literally help you. We're calling Netflix bottoms right before they shoot up. It's easy, painless money. Let us help you. So, wow. Sorry, I got a little passionate there. You know why I get passionate? Because when you see all the garbage and the lies that are surrounding you in this industry, and you're doing your best to try to help people, we give to charities, we do so much good work in the world, and when you see all this garbage and all this BS and all these salesmen who can't trade their way out of a urine-soaked brown paper bag, it upsets you, because this is not me selling you like a car, and you drive the car and you're like, okay, it's a car. I mean, this is people's lives. This is people's money. I mean, these people can cause millions, tens of millions, maybe more worth of damages to other people's lives. And like, for me, it's such a responsibility to be in a position that I am in, that I take it with the utmost respect. I take it with the utmost oh, by the way, we also called Goldman Sachs bottom today, but we're done with that. With the utmost respect and the utmost responsibility. I literally am that person thinking, how do I become better at what I do? So I literally changed the way I speak on the broadcast, and I know I got a lot of positive responses from that, and that's going to help you guys, really understand and be part of the trade a lot easier than before. So let's talk about our game plan. How about GWPH? That's the world's most expensive marijuana company. GW Pharmaceuticals, 136.54, my breakout level on the name. Stock pop today, nice earnings, nice everything, looks good. I'm looking for a follow through from today's high tomorrow in GW Pharmaceuticals. You guys want my live Forex orders? You guys want to know actually every single price that I put in? You get my types of orders, long, shorts. The buy is a long, sell is a short. These are orders that I put in. They're live orders. They're not filled yet. I'm looking to get filled on the buy side at lower prices. I'm looking to short the currency at higher prices. You get my size showing 4 standard lots. You get the symbol, the currency pairing in which I'm trading. You get the price of where I'm bidding or offering, trying to buy or short these currencies. You get SL, which is stop loss, and you get TP, which is take profit, and you are more than welcome to do whatever you like with this. And do we have time? Do you guys... Oops, that's not the right thing. Did you overtrade today, part 2, and how to solve your problems? Do you guys want to go over that? You guys want to go over that a little? All right. Let's talk about... Okay, let's talk about the technical overtrader. So we're talking about traders who are overtrading in this market. The easiest way to not overtrade, if that is something you suffer from, is to really be part of the Newsbeat live room. Sounds like a pitch, right? Sounds like I'm trying to sell you something, right? It's not trying to sell you something. I don't really make money from you joining the room, because I basically just give it to charity. Yeah, I get paid for it, but I basically give it to charity. I mean, the way I make money off you is you coming in and sharing ideas in the room and me capitalizing off them. That's how I make real money as a trader, trading your ideas. But you joining the room, that could be revolutionary for your life if you allow me to do so. If you've been struggling recently with some of the things, I want you to try something. Try doing nothing but my ideas. Try trading nothing else but my ideas. I know it requires a lot of patience. I know, and you know better. I know, and you know what's consistent. And maybe you are, and maybe you're making money. But if you're not making money, just try it. Give it a month. Give me a month. Don't give me one day. Give me a month. See if you can turn consistent like so many, like the vast majority of the Newsbeat Live Room has turned. Give me that opportunity. Give me that opportunity to help you with these trades. I'm calling them out a lot better now. I am evolving as a broadcaster. I'm improving the way I broadcast. Give me a chance. You're already here. Give me a chance. So we're talking recently about overtraders. So the technical overtraders, traders new to technical indicators often use them as justification for making a predetermined trade. It's on this moving average here, this is where I short. It's on the support here, this is where I short. It's on this whatever you're using. Moving average, pivot points, Fibonacci levels, Bollinger Bands, whatever it is that you're using, relative strength indicators as justification for your trades. You already decided what position to take, and then look for indicators that will back up your decision, allowing you to feel more comfortable. Then you try to develop rules. Learn different indicators and potentially devise a system. If it's right more often than not, you finally believe you've beaten the odds and may reason that if a solid 60% or more of your trades are successful, you're going to improve your profitability with increased trading. Unfortunately, this is another example of overtrading, and it can have severe consequences for your returns. The truth is, none of you, with the except maybe that one person, none of you know what percentage you are correct in your trades right now on certain strategies. On a bull flag strategy, what percentage of the time did you make money when you traded it? That's right. You don't know, and that's okay. Nobody's beating you up for not knowing. But don't justify a certain trade like it's a good strategy if you don't know how often it works. Then you, of course, have the hair trigger trader, which, because the next type of trade I want to discuss is the hair trigger trader. And this type of trader loves the electronic trading, which makes it very possible for this trader to open or close a position within seconds of the idea forming in the trader's mind. I call it the mind fart trader. Like you have the brain fart, not the mind fart, the brain fart trader. You have a brain fart. Oh, look, this looks bullish. I'll buy it. Oh, if it doesn't work, screw it, I'm out. If a trade moves slightly against that trader, if you're a hair trigger trader that just looks at a name, jumps in, jumps out, and you're that type of trader, if the trade moves slightly against you, you sell immediately, right? And if somebody on CNBC shouts out a tip, a position, you could open it immediately. So hair trigger trading is easy to identify. Tell me if this is you. Do you have many small losses and a few wins? Looking back over your trade logs, did the trader overestimate his wins and conveniently dismiss his losses or her losses? Were trades exited almost as soon as they were entered? Are some positions continuously opened and closed, meaning you're trading the same name again and again? These are all classic, easily identifiable signs of hair trigger trading, and that is actually one of the most common things. One of the biggest mistakes traders do is they trade a single name more than once. I know, we've all made money doing it again and again. If it's working, why not just keep hitting it? Did you know, on average, I was running, I was in the middle of the room there in T3 when I was working in Manhattan. And this was back in William Street before we moved over to State Street. And I had my little area of traders who were following me around that area. Did you know, I had a small group, there were like 12 traders around me. Did you know that when I was looking over these 12 traders' P&L, what percentage of the time do you think they lost money on their second and third trade. Not their first. Whether they made or lost on their first is irrelevant. I mean, second, third trade in the same stock. If they traded the same stock the second time and the third time, what on average, for, and again, small sample size, Mark, I get it. I'm not here trying to write a scientific thesis on this. I'm just giving you a sample size of traders who dedicated themselves to going into an office every day and trading real money. What percentage of those traders lost money on their second and third trade? What do you think? What percentage of the time in a matter of, let's call it 3 months, I think it was either 2.5 months or 3.5 months or 3 months, I looked over their trades. What percentage of the time would you guess that they lost on their second followed by their third trade? What percentage? Okay, you ready for this? Second trade, 76% of the time. Third trade, 82% of the time. You lose. I looked over my own numbers. They were similar. They were similar. I was like, damn. It always started where I either made money and then gave a little back the second time, which probably prompted me to want to try to make it back the third time, in which I generally gave a little more back. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Or maybe you lost money in a trade, you felt the stock owed you something because, hey, why did you screw me over? Oh, I get you, I'm going to trade you. And you lost money, and then you lost money the second time, you lost money the third time, and then you're like, oh God, why did I trade that? These are classic signs of overtrading. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that through the Newsbeat Masterclass. We're going to teach you how to fight that psychology by not just telling you what you're doing wrong, but by actually giving you solutions of what to make it right. You see, people who come to you and say, you need to stick with your game plan and you need to be disciplined, is like looking at a person who's on fire and saying, you're burning. It's going to get hot for you. As opposed to saying, here's a bucket of water, dump it on your head. That is what the Newsbeat Masterclass is going to accomplish. We're going to give you that bucket of water to dump on your head. Then, of course, we can have our own little trader ice bucket challenge. And it's going to go viral and everybody in the world will know who we are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we go into our full stock analysis. That is for Newsbeat Live members only. If you are interested in the course in which so many people have signed up for, you could look in the description or go to t3live.com/mark. That's Mark with a K, M-A-R-K. And there is a reason why we are indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. I hope you guys enjoyed the Newsbeat show. We'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful evening.